If any of you get in my father's way, I'll destroy you.
You poor lamentable brute.
So BROLY went and got himself a brand new voice. And it sounds like ass, dude. Oh my god, we have to talk about this. We absolutely need to talk about the new BROLY voice change in the recent Future Saga Chapter 3 update in Xenoverse 2. Such a weird thing, okay? When I first heard it for the first time, I was like, I don't know, man. I wasn't... It's not a big deal. Let me just say that, okay? It's not a big deal. It's not an end of the world. But it definitely is just such a weird thing that happened. And the error and process of how all this, I guess, came together and got approved just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But I want to discuss this and the fact that this was a mistake, okay? You know, a lot of people who have heard this in the recent update, they seem to not know that this wasn't, you know, supposed to happen, okay? They think it was intentional. And, you know, I can confirm with you guys that it isn't, because the voice director, Damon Mills, who actually, you know, does all this stuff for the video games and, you know, is getting all this, you know, put through and fixed and just managed properly. This was a mistake on some type of information that they were given. I'll go over his response, but let's just hear the voice again. Okay, just get a little refresher on it, right? So basically what happened was, this is still Johnny, okay? Johnny, who is the new voice actor who's replacing Vic, right? Who's been doing the voice for at least the past 5 to 6 years now, ever since, I think, around 2019. That's when Johnny started doing BROLY's voice, at least for DB Super, and then we started hearing, you know, the Z version get replaced, right? So let's just hear it. They added this deep pitch, this lower pitch filter on it, and it's bad.
If any of you get in my father's way, I'll destroy you. If any of you get in my father's way,
Yeah.
I'll destroy you.
They turned my goat into the Hulk, dog. Not a fan of that, right? And usually, like, when I hear this stuff for the first time, it doesn't really, like, you know, bother me that much, but this definitely did. And you'll hear it in my first initial reaction whenever I played it and I did my gameplay review. I was just confused, like, why did they do that to his voice? Like, Johnny, he sounds pretty good now, right? I will admit, when I first heard Johnny doing BROLY's voice, it just didn't fit. I didn't hate it, but, like, I'm so used to hearing Vic's, you know, demonic evil, like, just, like, pure evil BROLY voice that, you know, he did in the past. And even how he did it in the BROLY movie for Dragon Ball Super was still very good, right? So then hearing Johnny's voice, Johnny's voice is good. He's got, you know, he's a phenomenal voice actor, right? I'm not taking that away from him. But he has a very, like, a much younger, like, teenager, early adult, like, you know, early 20s kind of male voice, right? Like, anytime, like, he does the voice of Ichigo, right? And he's the best Ichigo we got, I mean, for the English dub, right? So when I'm hearing that, I can only think of Ichigo, or I mean, he's played many characters, right? I think he played, I forgot the dude's name. He plays this one character in Black Clover that wears like a mask. I forgot his name. There's too many characters in Black Clover, right? And you know, his voice is always kind of around the same range. Like, not too often do I hear him and I'm like, oh, who is this, right? Like, anytime I hear Johnny's voice, I know it's him. Like, I just know it's him, 100%. Like, it's very easy. He's got a very distinct style that he always goes for. And he's done evil characters or, like, you know, darker characters before. And, you know, maybe he adds some more deeper pitch to it, right? Which he can do. And like I said, with BROLY, more recently, he's worked on it. And he's done a very, very good job. So it just confuses me why they would add a deeper pitch to it when I first heard this, because he doesn't need that, right? He really doesn't. And there are going to be people out there that disagree with me. And, you know, I get it. You know, you guys like Vic and everything. I like Vic's voice too. I think he is still the best BROLY we got. And maybe that's just because I'm used to it. That's what I grew up with, right? But I think he just does I mean, at least he did a phenomenal job, right? And now that Johnny's on doing it, I think he sounds pretty good as well. You know, at least after having, you know, years to kind of develop it and, you know, get used to the voice. And when I hear him now, especially with Dragon Ball Super BROLY, in the more recent video games. I mean, that's really all we can hear him with. Like his base form BROLY voice that you hear in the actual like story mode, not with this deep pitch shit, right? It's very good. I think when I hear that, when he's just talking normally, I'm like, this is a great, this sounds great. Like this sounds like BROLY to me. Like I like this. It fits his, you know, his character, right? He's very calm. You know, it's you know, a lot lower, and he's just a very, like, you know, I don't know, like very stoic kind of personality, right? And it works. But when it came to Vic, his BROLY voice fit the DBZ version like perfectly, right? And obviously, you know, Ben Shimada, who's the Japanese voice actor, he's always been great, right? And he's still the same voice actor, and people will say, just, you know, use the Japanese voice is the best. And it's like, I agree, it's very good, right? But I like to hear my shit in English, right? So I don't mind having Johnny. I just don't like it when they're messing with it, right? And they're adding shit on there that it doesn't need to be on there, right? He doesn't need to sound like the fucking Hulk. And I saw people say like, oh, well, the reason for this is probably because he's like harnessing the power of the Zaru, like the great ape. And that's why he sounds like this. But I'm like, if you go to the past and like even like, when I say the past, I mean like the past few years, when he's in his Fury form or any version of BROLY that Johnny has done, he never had that deep pitch. They just added this, you know, on there, right? And again, it was a mistake from what Damon said. And let's actually go over what his response was, because he replied to me and he goes, this wasn't supposed to be this. Unfortunately, this was an editing mistake due to information we were given. Thanks for making us aware, hoping we can get it changed and fixed. Rest assured, it will not be this pitch shift again in the future, which is great. Okay, Damon Mills, if you guys don't know, current voice actor of Frieza. He does voice direction for a lot of the video games more recently, like Sparking Zero, likely Dragon Ball Legends, and obviously, you know, Xenoverse 2 and stuff. Any of the Dragon Ball games that are doing a lot of like the extra dialogue and different interactions and stuff, that's all thanks to him. And he's done a very, very good job with everything. So this was, you know, very surprising that something like this got across, okay? And I don't know when this is going to get fixed, right? Obviously, he's aware of it. He's probably made the team aware of it, but he's not Bandai. He's not Dimps, you know? He is just doing the voice direction for these games, right? And it's a lot of work, too, okay? Somebody said, how are you not aware before fully releasing it? Like, what? Did you not even listen to it? Now, again, this isn't 100% on him for it getting, you know, put through, right? He's just doing the voice stuff, right? So I don't know who's handling like the pitch shift and the changes of all that shit. I have no idea, but let's hear what he has to say, because he says, with respect, there are countless ways why things like this occur. And I spoke with him directly, like in like DMs and stuff. And he's like, hey, I can't go into specifics. That's what he basically said, because, you know, probably with like contracts and everything. And obviously there's things that he cannot talk about or speak up about, but he can, you know, still try his best to get this stuff fixed, right? So he said, audio files also pass through many people on many different levels, and sometimes we receive incorrect information. It is not solely my responsibility as a cast member or director to ensure everything is implemented as it should be, and all teams involved do their best to I think he meant to ensure top tier quality in these games. I can do my best, but I am also a full-time voice actor for other projects and have a lot to manage. Exactly. Game development and recording for them is not an easy task. It is incredibly tedious, and more often than not, we do not have a visual reference. I hope this clears things up for you. And that is 100% true. I remember when Sean was doing Goku Black's voice before, I think it was in the anime, but he had to do it for Xenoverse 2. Okay, it's always Xenoverse 2 that has this problem. Xenoverse 2 is usually, through the history, it has shown that Xenoverse 2 has been the game to get this stuff first, like new content or new forms or characters and stuff more recently. And when this happens and they're trying to do the voice direction, they're always given very little information. I don't know why. It just seems to be the case. And that's why Goku Black's voice is so different now, right? Like, it has changed a lot. Remember when it first came out, it was like a Batman Super Saiyan 4 deep kind of voice that he went for Goku Black. And then it turned into the British type of shit. You know, the more elegant, Super Saiyan Rose. You know that shit? Like, and that's what, they wanted to work on and they wanted to go for because of how kind of like Zamasu's dialect and like his personality. They wanted to get that working because before it was just like, oh, well, Goku Black sounds like an evil version of Goku. So let's just make him have a more kind of darker, deeper tone. And he's not as lighthearted like, hey, my name's Goku. It's, my name is Goku Black. Like, just like a deep voice. Like, that's what you would... Like, that is the, like, automatic thought process of getting it to work, right? Like, common sense would tell you, okay, a darker version of Goku, give him a darker tone, a deeper voice, right? So, this is the same situation. I remember, I think it was like an interview or something where Sean was talking about it. He was like, I was not really given a lot of information for how to do this, okay? I know for a fact that's what happened, so... That's why it ended up sounding like shit. I was okay, sorry, it didn't sound like shit. Like when I first heard it, I was like, "This, yeah, Goku Black, yeah, that works, right?" And then it was the British thing that confused me because I was just like, "What the fuck? Like, why is it changing up now?" So when he goes Super Saiyan Rose, he's British, and it's like, no, that's not the case. That's just how he wanted to go moving forward with, now having knowledge on the character and the personality and everything, right? So yeah. It's definitely a lot of work and everything. He did end up replying to this person saying, so just curious, will they end up fixing the voice of this character or will it stay like this and change back to normal for future character releases? I'm hoping they release a mini patch update that removes the voice filter for Broly, both the new cutscenes and the combat, right? Because I'm not sure, but I hope that's what they do, fingers crossed, right? So yeah, he's obviously doing the best he can. Obviously, there hasn't been a change yet as far as I know. And I don't know when this is going to get fixed. I have a bad feeling we're going to have to probably wait until the next big update. That might not be the case, right? I can't say 100%, but it's very possible that we'll have to wait until when Future Saga Chapter 4 drops, which would suck, but I feel like in the past, from what I've seen, anytime that they've had, when it comes to voice stuff, that's the unfortunate situation. We would have to just wait. Like, we didn't get the Diamond English dub stuff until now, right? But back when the Diamond Pack released, it was all in Japanese, right? But the difference here is that this is it should be an easy fix. It's just removing the filter, right? So whatever files that they have, obviously it's still going to take effort to go in there and take the pitch off, right? And just have his normal voice, right? But the thing is with that is that if you go through and you play the game and you listen to him in the cutscenes, it's also very inconsistent, right? Some cutscenes, even when he's in his Fury form, he just sounds like normal Broly. And some of them, he has that damn deep voice filter. So it's like weird. It's like, what was the information that was given that had this, even happen? How did this even occur? Was it only one or a few voice files that were supposed to have that pitch? Maybe he's like yelling or something and they were trying to make him sound like the Uzaru and give him that effect, right? I can understand that. But like, how do you like fuck up to the point where like it got applied to pretty much the majority of his voice files, right? When he's in his base form, not in his Fury form, he sounds normal. He just sounds like Johnny, right? But in like some cutscenes, he's talking. He's like, "Don't hurt July." It's so bad, dude. Like, again, it's not the end of the world. I'm not gonna lose sleep over this, but I'm glad that we made our opinions made heard among the community, and that's a good thing. Okay, you always need to do this because Damon, he's a great guy, and I appreciate that. He even told me, he was like, "Hey, I'm always trying to look through and see if there are any issues or things or mistakes that were made." And, this isn't the first time. I think he's, tried to fix things in the past, right? Certain editing mistakes or certain dialogue that, maybe some people didn't like. So he listens to feedback, which is good. But that's just him. He's just the voice actor. He's just the voice director. And he does a lot of other projects and things. So, obviously he's a very busy guy, right? Just like all voice actors are. Think about how many roles these people have to do and like how much stuff, like they're always, almost nearly always voice acting and doing things, right? So yeah, it's a weird change. And obviously from what was said, it was a mistake, but hopefully it'll get fixed. I don't know when, but let me know what you guys think about this. Maybe some people like it. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Do you like this change? Do you like him having that deeper pitch? From what I've seen from a lot of responses, most people don't. And I'm with those people. And again, this isn't a turn. We're not trying to turn this into Vic versus Johnny, who's better and all this stuff. Like, Johnny is the voice actor right now. He's the current voice of Broly. You either accept it or you switch to Japanese and you just listen to that, right? That's just what it is, right? But I will say it does get annoying whenever it's so inconsistent with his voice. And this is something that I've made, my opinion heard about this. I don't like having in the video games 2 different voices, right? Like there's no reason for that. Like this version of Broly, like the more recent Brolys and stuff, he's got Johnny's voice. Okay, cool, great. I'm cool with Johnny's voice. I'm down for it, right? But then you go and you play some of the other characters, like for example the Z Broly and the full power Broly from 2018, and he still has Vic's voice. So it's weird, it's inconsistent, and again, I do think that Vic does a better Z Broly, and I like how Johnny does DBS Broly, but it's like, y'all got to figure out what you're going to do, because even the transforming Z Broly uses Johnny's voice, right? And again, Johnny, he can pull off a more sinister kind of evil voice, right, for that Z Broly, and it is different from the DB Super Broly. But it's just weird that it's just back and forth. And even Dragon Ball Legends, I don't know if it's still like this, but Dragon Ball Legends was really bad because his voice files mixed together. So you would hear Johnny and you would hear Vic in the same character. So he'd be screaming or grunting and it would be Johnny. And then some of the dialogue he has is Vic, or some of the grunts are back and forth between Johnny and Vic, okay? And you can there's a difference, right? Johnny's voice isn't on point or even super close to how Vic does it, right? His is kind of his own thing. It got that Ichigo effect, right? Which again, I like that. I mean, and again, people will disagree with me, but I just like it because, Ichigo, one of my favorite anime characters of all time. And I grew up listening to Johnny's Ichigo voice. So when I'm hearing on Broly, I was like, it's kind of weird, but, I fuck with it a bit. And then over time, he sounded more like how Broly would sound, right? Okay, again, it's not exact, but he's definitely worked on it a lot. And I think he's at a pretty good place. Maybe over the next couple of years, he'll work on it more. Obviously, we're going to have to, this is the version of Broly that we're going to be hearing going forward if Dragon Ball Super ever has an anime return, or if there are new projects where Broly is part of it, right, for the anime. And I mean, you're already hearing it in the games, fully fleshed out, sentences and paragraphs of dialogue in this specific story. This is the most I've heard Broly ever talk, was this specific Xenoverse 2 story. So I think the more you listen to it, the more you'll get used to it. And that's kind of what happened over the years. And it helps that he's improved it too, right? Yeah, I just really, really wanted to talk about this because it's just been such a major topic among the community. And it's always been for many years now, back and forth with the constant, they're trying to figure out okay, well, are we going to take Vic's voice off and just completely replace everything with Johnny? And I think Sparking Zero might be the first game where it's been consistent as far as I'm aware. I think everything has, for every version of Broly and all the voice files, it has been Johnny, which is good. Okay, keep it consistent. Have the Z Broly and the DBS Broly have it just one voice actor. But the problem with Xenoverse 2 and Legends and all these other games is that they released before the change happened, so that's why it got confusing, right? Again, it's not like the end of the world. This isn't the biggest deal ever, but it is important that, we make our voices heard over this kind of stuff. No pun intended, right? Because you want these projects and things to be of a certain quality, and you want it to be a good quality, right? So the standard is that, hey, basically, just keep things consistent, right? So shout out to Damon. I hope things get fixed and everything. Again, you guys can comment down below. Let me know what you think about everything. And I will see you guys next. Peace.
This is BROLY, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.